Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Compels me to say I have no idea if anybody else is going to show up here for today's Wednesday edition, Hump Day edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. You know where I am set up. Wednesday, that means I am at Twin Peaks. What a great place to be for Wednesday. If you got to be stranded somewhere with the rain, be stranded right here inside Twin Peaks. Great specials, great food. A lot of the fellas just kind of hanging out. I don't know where Patrick Young is at. I don't know where Brent Beaird is at. The weather's terrible. I hope they're safe. It may just be me one-on-one and my main man, Zach Rothrock. Zach, it may just be you and I, but this is a pretty good place to be stranded inside Twin Peaks, let me tell you about that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really.
I don't know where they're at.
Yeah, I can't really relate to
Here
that.
Here comes Brent. We have a Brent Beaird sighting, so he's alive.
Okay.
We know that. Take your time, my brother.
Nice.
Dust off. Get your towel. And holy cow, it was raining a moment ago here, and we're at the intersection of Atlantic and Kernan. If you're off work or you didn't go to work, hey, man, you got to be somewhere. Why not be inside the comfort, the cool, the relaxing confines of Twin Peaks, 29-degree, actually 28.2-degree draft beer. The kitchen is rocking and rolling, Zach. I'm in a good spot. Brent Beaird's in a good spot. Zach, are you safe right now with all this rain?
I feel relatively okay. I mean, I had to do a little fishtail slide into the studio as I got in here, but I'm good.
Be careful. I do not know where Mr. Patrick Young is at. I'm hoping he's safe. Brent Beaird, let me see which one are you on here, Brent? You're on 3. Say hi.
I'm glad to be here, to say the least.
What about your trip here? How tough was it? You're haggard right now. The word is haggard.
I am. And listen, as astute as you are, you probably picked up on this. We certainly needed the rain. I think we've caught up with our deficiency at this point. But Terry, the problem now is it's beginning to affect the roads. Oh. And it's beginning to tear the roads up.
It really is.
That's a real difficult.
It really is. Standing water is rough.
Yes.
When you're driving.
Yeah,
and
yes.
you know what else? Standing water when you don't see it is really rough.
Oh, it really is.
Right? You hit it, and we'll catch your breath. Get plugged up, and we'll have you scooch over when you get settled and get in camera frame. We've got a lot to get to, including the Gator quarterback situation. Brent, I want to hear your thoughts on what you might do. I know what I might do. Patrick and I talked about it yesterday. It's the storyline in Gainesville going into the Texas A&M game. We, by the way, have 2 tickets to give away. We're going to qualify people. They've already qualified today, and a little bit tomorrow. We'll draw tomorrow to give away 2 tickets to the Florida-Texas A&M game. The NFL, the Jaguars host the Browns, and there's an interesting development. We're going to talk with Dr. Bates around 5 o'clock, and we've got some serious injury issues to talk about. The Jaguars, Tyson Campbell, he's got a hammy and a quad, and he came out, and he didn't look good the other day when he came out. He looked ginger, didn't he? He looked very ginger.
Much. Yeah, yes.
He looked very ginger. So, Jaguars, a secondary star, let me say that again. A player in their secondary, a star, Tyson Campbell, who missed 6 games a year ago because of injury. He's already out of the game against the Dolphins in the second half. That would be a blow for the Jaguars.
Very much.
Now, conversely, David Njoku, the tight end by way of the Miami Hurricanes, very athletic guy, been in the league 4 or 5 years. He is battling an upper ankle, a high ankle sprain. Njoku, by the way, absolutely torched the Jaguars last year in the win. He had 6 catches, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. He may be out, so that might be a push And I hate to use injury versus injury, but it might be a push.
Yeah, it could be. And look, with these hamstring issues, I mean, you played. You can't play with that. If you bring somebody back too early.
And they're so temperamental.
Oh, they really are.
I mean, I've got that written down here for Dr. Bates, sports medicine segment at 5 o'clock, Southeast orthopedic specialist, Dr. Bates. Tyson Campbell, hammy and a quad.
Yes.
And you know, a lot of times I think they're related. That quad muscle and that hammy can be kind of related. When one of them's struggling, you may pull the other one.
Absolutely.
Hammy, quad, and I've got, it's funny you said that, Brent. Here's the word right here, temperamental.
Yeah.
Those hamstrings are temperamental. So we'll talk maybe a push. And again, I don't want anybody to be hurt.
Sure.
But it may be a push because, boy, Njoku last year killed with Joe Flacco throwing him the ball. So we'll get into that. We've got Patrick Young. Patrick, please, God, tell me you're safe. Where are you at? Pull over. Get dry. Where are you at?
University Christian. I'm waiting to pick my daughter up from volleyball. Well, it's so weird, Terry. They normally don't have practice on Wednesday, and Wednesdays they're like half day.
Right.
But there is like a fluid schedule. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm here at 2:15.
Yeah.
We got practice or we're not practicing? Because if we do, I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do. They don't care about me.
Yeah.
I need to tell them who I am.
Like, no, don't go there. Don't be a Tyreek Hill. We don't need no Tyreek Hill situation.
I need to go tell them who I am.
Roll your window down if they tell you. You roll your window down, Patrick, if they tell you.
Just tell them you're Terry Norvelle. That's all you need to say.
I know exactly. Wouldn't that work too?
Wait a minute. You're nowhere near good looking enough to pull that off. Hey, look at him. Look at him. He's going through the line right now. No, this is the pickup, sir. You're in the drop off. Wrong. Go to the other line. Go to the other line.
I'm getting out of the rain so I can hear. It's
really,
man, doesn't it? Have you ever been on the phone while driving and then it just comes down? You're like, there's no way this person can hear me talk.
Tough. It really is.
The rain is so loud.
It was coming down a moment ago. Be safe, Patrick. If you seriously, if you need to step aside. Get your daughter squared away. Get where you're going squared away. Hey, we are at Twin Peaks. A lot of stuff going on all month long, including today is September 11th, which is a special day,
9/11,
a historic special day, and a somber special day in our country. With that said, though, they have already designated September 11th is a Wednesday here at Twin Peaks. Brew Day is back every Wednesday this month. They've got great beer specials going on, 22-ounce Twin Peak brews on draft, $3.99 all day. And I'll tell you one thing, Brent, and I'll tell you one thing, Patrick Young, the daily outdoor workers, the roofers, the landscapers, the painters, them boys has been off, and they ain't getting paid, but they going to drink a cold beer. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah, them boys been getting paid all week, Terry.
You think?
Or them boys been getting off work all week.
I hope
really
so. I hope so. I hope so. A lot to get to, Patrick. We've got 2 tickets we're going to give away to the Florida-Texas A&M game, which is Saturday. I guess we'll have a drawing tomorrow. Is that right, Patrick?
Yeah. We got, as of now, 26 entrants. And I need to send you the link so you can put it on. Let me send you the link. I'm going to go
Okay, Patrick is going to send me the link.
You can share it with our Facebook people. Or whatever else we use there. It's man, Terry, and I know you were I messed up a few times with my technological things. But this is a good one. This one's easy.
Good. Hey,
this
he's
one is
grown
good
in that area, Pat. Nice. Okay, he really has.
So here's what you got. Pat said he's Patrick has a sign-up sheet that is electronic, so he's going to send it to me. A Google.
Once you open the link, we're not sharing anybody's information.
Okay.
We just need your name, your phone number, and your email, and we're going to figure out a way to pick a number. I think we got 30 entrants at this point, and we just need your phone number so we can call you.
We got these guys next to us. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, we got an orange shirt guy. Hey, on a rainy Wednesday, orange shirt guy is never a good guy. That guy's always a mess. I tell you. American Pride. Oh, I like it.
Oh, yeah.
I need one of those shirts. It says American Pride on it. It's bright orange. You got that in the long sleeve? I need a long sleeve one. That's what I want. That's what I want. I love
Terry,
a long sleeve T-shirt now.
Terry,
I love a long sleeve T-shirt when it gets cold.
We forgot to do a pound for pound with tail of the tape for Kamala and Trump last night. We forgot about that, didn't we? We sure did.
That we sure did. Give me an idea. These are three fellas sitting next to us. Rained out today. What type of work? Is it concrete? Is it landscape? What is it?
We do solar work. We do dirt work. We fix roads.
Dirt. They play in the dirt. Okay. Three guys playing in the dirt and drink beer. That's a good life if you can get it right there. That right there.
We got big toys and big sandboxes.
Big toys and big sandboxes.
Who's your favorite team?
Hey, they can do these machineries. Y'all can do these big things that do this. Who is it? Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay. All right, I like it.
I bet your college team. Who's your favorite college team?
College football. That's my man right there. You know what? I like that guy.
He had that orange on for a reason.
Get that guy. Run that guy.
We got a Seminole guy over there.
And there we go.
Two Gators and a Seminole.
Two Gators and a Seminole. Oh, boy. Hey, you can tell these guys, though. Okay. Be something different. You can tell these guys, they get in these machines, and they do all this because they got these levers.
Right.
And somehow this thing goes like this.
Yeah.
Hey, it does that like that. And it knocks that thing down. And it mows that thing down. I couldn't even get the damn thing started.
Do we need to tell these guys that their prospective teams have games this weekend that may determine their season?
Yeah. Big games. Boy, a tough start for the Gators and the Seminoles, though.
You know what? But the Space Odyssey still has the same fine women, and you can stay there and life's good.
I don't really know what that means, but all right, that's my man.
Yeah,
he just went Space Odyssey. Isn't that like David Bowie or something? That's a David Bowie album, Space Odyssey.
That's an old movie. That's all I know.
We can't talk about Mons Venus now. No, this is not that kind of show. Hey. This is not that kind of Patrick, help me, Patrick. Patrick.
Moving on now. Moving on to review.
Man, every time I hear those two words, my mind just goes places.
What we're gonna do? Thank you. We're going big time now, my man.
Hey, I've only been there once, and I almost risked it all.
My partner here, he's not here because he's in the rain. He says, "You've been to Mons one time, and what happened?"
I almost risked it all. Almost gave it all.
Risked it all.
And that was when he was a teenager too, I'm sure.
She was 18.
I tell you one thing, I told this story not long ago. Hey, about 2:00 in the morning, that parking lot in Mons Venus, there's some shady dudes out there in that parking lot about 2. That's I heard about it. I didn't see it. I heard about it.
Ooh, rumor has it.
Hey, you've never been to Mons Venus, I hope.
No, I haven't.
No. Brent Beaird,
no.
You are too nice of a guy.
I'm holding up
anything called Mons and Venus, don't go to.
No, they don't.
When you put Mons and Venus together,
right.
Ain't nothing good coming out.
Trouble. Patrick Young can tell us it's nothing but trouble.
We're supposed to shift away from this, and we're still talking about it.
Oh, yeah. These guys are trouble right here.
They really are.
Security.
We need to talk. Oh, a football question.
Let's go. FIU in Central Michigan. Man, this is a big time show, man. We talk about big show. Come on. FIU in Central Michigan. That's Jim McElwain.
Kick him out of here now.
He said kick you out of here.
Kick him out.
Central Michigan, that's Jim McElwain, isn't it?
Yeah.
The old Gator coaches.
That's right.
Why did you say that? Why?
Absolutely killed him. They came from out of nowhere.
There you go. Is your friend any good? What's he play?
He's
what position? Linebacker. All right. If he makes the big leagues, you tell him to come back right here.
Mm-hmm.
Where's this show going? Where's it going? We were in one segment in. These guys, I could tell they were trouble.
Let's see if we can rescue this. Patrick Young can rescue this show.
Patrick Young, help us, brother. Help us. Where are we at here? Where are we at? Gator quarterback.
I got a trivia question for you guys.
Hey, we're up against a break in about 5 minutes. Brent Beaird, seriously, topic number one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know your thought process. Do you think it says in the sports Bible somewhere you can't lose your job to an injury? And is that real, or is that tie goes to the runner? Is that what are your thoughts on Mertz and Lagway? Napier's got to make a decision. Does he make the wrong decision? It could cost him his job. Does he make the right? Where are you at with the Mertz Lagway Saturday, 3:30 A&M?
I think in a coach's mind, the starter never loses his job to injury. Now, when you've got an infinitely more talented quarterback, that makes that decision a little more different. Now, what the thing that Napier did to cover himself, he said, well, we're going to play both of them. So, and I get that. Now, but here's the deal, though. Mertz understands, and you're dealing with Mike Elko here, who's one of the better defensive minds. Mertz understands defenses right now, college defenses, a lot more than Lagway does.
Agreed.
So I would say that's probably the reason that he starts. But look, absolutely, I don't know when he puts it in, and he's probably not going to answer that question. He may not know the answer to that question at this point.
May not. And you know, Patrick, when you're Billy Napier, if you designate Lagway and put him in the game, do you wait? Do you let the game play out? If you do let the game play out, you may be down 14-0.
You might.
You may be down 17-0. I think the worst thing that Billy Napier could do is hold, be a team coach, hold, finally put Lagway in when they're down 14-0 in the third quarter or 17, and Lagway leads them back but runs out of time.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be devastating.
Yeah. Well, this A&M team struggles on the offensive line. They do not have the wide receiver depth they did, like Emmitt Smith went to the NFL. Now, what they do have that is ferocious is their defensive line.
Yeah.
Walter Nolan,
big-time player.
The Scorton guy who came over from Purdue is a guy that they can't block. So that's what Florida's got to be able to deal with. Two pretty even teams, but as we keep going and talk about this throughout the show, Terry, this game is humongous. We thought it would be, but this is a huge game because, listen, you and I both thought after 5 games they'd be 4-1 or 5-0. If they've got 2 losses,
it's really over.
It really is tough.
It really is. Now, you mentioned and Patrick, the Texas A&M defensive line is the strength of Texas A&M's team. Big Nolan came over. Big get for A&M. Scorton, the kid from Purdue, big get for A&M. With that said, if they're nasty on the defensive line, I don't think Florida's offensive line will be able to handle them. Would you rather Graham Mertz, who nothing against Graham Mertz, but he's a 4.75 40 guy.
Right.
Would you rather him back there trying to dodge guys flying at him, beating the offensive line, or would you rather a Lagway? The other thing about Mertz, and man, I like Mertz. He had a big year last year.
Absolutely.
I think though Mertz is a guy that the play has to go as scripted for the play to work. Right?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Mertz has to get the blocking, the route. Lagway's a guy, and I think Florida's offensive line is not a scripted offensive line. I think Lagway's a guy that could give them a chance to make something of nothing. I don't think Mertz is that. And on top of that, Brent Beaird, I want you to address this. If you're Napier and you go to Mertz and his family, his handlers or whatever, and you go, Graham, this is yours. It's his 6th year in college football. It's not like Lagway is in year 1 and Mertz is in year 2. You know what Mertz is. I know what Mertz is. Mertz is a guy that might, by the grace of God, be able to hold a third-string clipboard in the NFL.
Yes.
His career is probably over, and he's already gotten to play 6 years, basically. This is year number 6.
Right.
So I don't think it's like, wow, look how they're screwing this poor kid that came all the way to Wisconsin. And what is and Brent, I'll let you go to this, and we'll get out of here on segment 1. What is the first charge of any coach in any sport? I think it's putting the best team you have on the field to win the game. Your thoughts?
Well, and the first thing for the quarterback is don't give up the ball. And that's going to be important too. But I tell you what would help all this would be if Montreal Johnson ran for $150.
$150. Yeah, that wouldn't hurt, Patrick. A little 150 from the running back. But I will say this: if you hand the ball to Lagway, I don't want this to sound mean, but Mertz has nowhere to go. He has to stay there. It's not like he's transferring out midseason and going somewhere else. He's done.
Sure.
Mertz is done, and I was a Mertz guy. If you hand the ball to Lagway, you tell Mertz, be a good soldier. You're probably going to get a chance. There's probably going to be a chance. If Lagway got the starting job.
He still gets invited to the Senior Bowl, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. If Lagway is handed the football, I still think the balance of the season, there'll be times, 2 or 3 times, where Lagway and the Florida offense, not because Lagway's injured, just because he needs to come off the field.
Mm-hmm.
And things haven't gone well. You might need to run that 6-year senior. I would tell Mertz, hey, man, you're probably going to have a couple of 3 or 4 spots where you need to come in and save the day. We need that, but we can't get that in reverse. If you start and we bring in Lagway, he's probably going to have young, stupid mistakes, and we're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would go. I think Lagway has shown he's not a special player. He might be a special player.
He might be an elite player.
And those guys don't come around very often. If you got one of those guys, I think you got to ride him.
Yeah.
I think you got to ride him.
Look, I understand that, but I think we both know that Mertz will start.
Yeah,
and they'll just go from there.
Again, this is not a Tim Tebow and Cam Newton situation.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's really not.
Because Graham Mertz is not look, he's played in a lot of big games, and Terry will give you the list, but he's over, not over, but not to a point where it's like, man, we've got that ace right behind him, but we got to go with this guy because he's a proven winner, and that just hasn't been Mertz.
I don't even think this is a Link Tebow situation from the Tebow Lagway perspective, because Tebow, his first year in Gainesville, he did a couple of things really well, but he didn't look like a guy that was ready as a true freshman to take over a game. Lagway, conversely, has shown possibly some physical traits that literally could take over a game.
Well, and see what guys like Lagway can do. We hear this phrase, if you've got a really good quarterback, he can throw guys open. See, Lagway can do that.
Boy, that ball jumped out of his hand.
It really did.
And you know what?
Yes.
That quarterback that has the ball, and we've seen special guys, that ball jumps out of their hand, just like there's only a few guys that get on the mound, and that ball, Paul Skeens, comes out of your hand, and it goes 102 miles. I think Lagway is the guy with a 102-mile-an-hour fastball. He's the tennis guy with a 140-mile-an-hour serve.
Right.
He's the golfer that stripes it right down the middle, 325. I think he might be that special.
And our mutual friend, Shane Matthews, we said this Monday, it bears repeating, said that touchdown pass Lagway throws almost in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
Shane said that was the best pass he's ever seen on Florida field.
How about that? That's Shane Matthews.
And he's thrown a few himself.
He has thrown a few himself, and he's seen a lot. Let's take our first break here on a Wednesday Hump Day edition. Terry Norvelle, Brent Beaird, Patrick Young is with us. Please, Patrick, be safe. I'm being serious about that. We've got a lot of college football to get to, including Patrick and Brent. We'll get it on the other side if y'all remind me. We never have addressed what I thought was the worst call in college football last weekend, the Notre Dame spot. The spot of the football.
Yeah, really.
What in the world? Was I the only guy that went, how did you spot that ball short? And God bless Northern Iowa for coming back and winning.
Yes.
Brent,
yes.
I'm not going to call conspiracy, but I'm going to call conspiracy. What, Pat, you know what I'm talking about? The spot in the Northern Illinois game on
I didn't see it.
Third down, fourth, whatever it was. It was a terrible spot against Northern Illinois, and they can't. I think it was third down.
Yeah,
it was third down. I think they missed it by this much.
Look, they'll never do it. But officials after the game, even if it's brief, they ought to be able to take questions from the media.
And they don't. They think.
And the question there will be what? What did you see?
Yeah. Yeah. And Pat, I hope you know what we're referencing. We'll do it on the other side. People watching and listening, they know exactly what we're referencing. Northern Illinois making their comeback. I think it was 3rd and 1. Mm-hmm. They go for it. And Brent, it appeared that guy had that first down by 3/4 of a yard.
At least, full yard. If not, I heard it was a full yard. I heard Rick Neuheisel talking about this, and that's what he said. He said the running back made the first down by a yard.
By a full yard, which is 3 feet. Yes. And it certainly looked like the official on the high side on the TV screen had a dead look at it.
Yeah.
And they marked it. And I know I said we were going to talk about it on the other side. I guess we're talking about it now. I was stunned that Northern Illinois didn't protest more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what they did? They just ran the next play.
Sure they did. Absolutely.
Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame. Let's talk about that on the other side. It is a Wednesday, Hump Day edition. We're live at, our Wednesday hangout. What a great place. If you're heading home, don't go home. Pull in, get you a cold beer, man. You've had a battle on the roads. Come in here, let the rain stop, and enjoy some great food. Great hospitality. The Twin Peaks girls are everywhere, ready to take care of you. Twin Peaks, 11892 Atlantic Boulevard at the intersection of Atlantic and Kernan.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
This stream. Hey, welcome back. Talking some ball here with the fellas here at Twin Peaks. This is our Wednesday home. Brent Beaird, Terry Norvelle, Patrick Young is fighting the rain. I don't know if he's going to make it. I just want Patrick to get home with his daughter.
Right.
Understand. Brent, get home with his daughter here. A lot of stuff to do here on Wednesday. We're coming up on Saturday, Florida, Texas A&M. We've got 2 tickets we're going to give away to the Gators and the Aggies. Patrick has already signed up. 26 people have qualified. I'm going to post the qualifier on the website today, tonight, and tomorrow. And then hour number 2 from Sliders tomorrow, we'll go ahead and give away 2 tickets to the Florida Texas A&M game, a big game. And I'll tell you one thing: FSU hosting Memphis, high noon.
Yes,
FSU, you better go get that win, man. Memphis is laying for what you say. Memphis is laying for bear. I think
they are
in that game.
They really are. Hennigan, their quarterback, is easily the best quarterback between the two. Now, the good thing is, Hakeem Williams, the sophomore wideout for FSU, is supposed to be back. Jalen Lucas, the running back, is out for the year,
and that's tough.
It really is.
He was a guy I think was going to get more of a role for FSU.
Yeah,
he was a return guy,
right.
But he had this, and people watching, he had that, and FSU could use some of that. And I think he was going to morph into kind of a running back slot guy. Gone for the year. Gone for the year.
Here's the big thing for FSU, Terry. If Uyunglele is not any better, they lose this game. That really leaves Mike Norvelle with a big decision.
Yeah, you almost have
to
pull the plug on him. Right?
You really almost do.
And they've got they've got the 5-star kid. Obviously, I'm not sure Brock Glenn or whatever his name is. It's the guy.
Brock Glenn.
That 5-star guy might be a guy you hand the ball to.
It could be,
especially if you're sitting on 3 ... losses.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Yes.
Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're 0-3 at some point, Terry, you're trying to salvage this year, and more importantly, get something ready for next year.
Yeah. We're looking at some stuff there on TV here at Twin Peaks. David Njoku, the tight end for the Browns. That's a big story for the Browns.
Is.
If he doesn't play, he torched Jacksonville last year.
Yeah.
And we know Campbell's not going to go.
Right.
We're going to have Dr. Bates on at 5 o'clock. Campbell's going to miss a few games, it looks like, minimum.
Oh, yeah.
If Njoku doesn't play for the Browns, he had 6 catches, 2 touchdowns, and they couldn't cover him. That could be a good balancer for the Jags. I hate to use injuries. Speaking of NFL football and the Browns, if Njoku doesn't play, if he's put on inactive list for the Browns who play the Jaguars, that's a receiver. He's a tight end, but that's a receiver. They would be down a receiver. Do the Browns activate Yung Joka? You know who Yung Joka is, right? Kadarius Toney, who got released.
Yes.
And he just signed
how ironic would that be?
The Browns.
He did.
Now, you say, well, wait a minute. He's been there a little over a week. And you know what? If you know a playbook, I think it's been proven. You can pick up a playbook. And it's not like Yung Joka, Kadarius Toney, hasn't been working out. He had an entire season, a preseason, right?
Sure.
He made plays. He made catches. He just didn't make the team.
Right.
Does Yung Joka get activated if the Browns are down a receiver and he plays right here in Jacksonville?
But see, here's how ironic would that be? But here's a guy, Terry, that if he played, now look, he may not play, but a handful of plays. But when you've got that kind of speed, I mean, look, he could catch 2 passes for 50 yards and do a reverse for 20
and embarrass you.
Yeah, sure he could,
and embarrass you. So that's a fun storyline. I don't know if they're going to if they're going to activate him, but I mean, unless the issue is he doesn't know the playbook, and I think you can draw up a couple of plays in the dirt.
Very good.
The Browns are
for a
down.
guy like that.
It looks like the Browns are going to be down a receiver, a tight end, but down a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Do you activate Yung Joka?
That would be fascinating. It really would.
Getting back to college football and Gainesville, this doesn't matter, but there's a weird happenstance. Have you heard what's going on with Mr. Two Bits and Emmitt Smith?
Right.
And coming back to Gainesville, you know, Emmitt and Florida have had a bit of a strained relationship.
They have.
Emmitt's post-Florida career, right? He gets voted into the Hall of Fame, the Ring of Honor. He doesn't show up on that Saturday. He's practicing for dancing. Remember, he did dancing. He won Dancing with the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Emmitt had a ugly public battle with the university as a whole last year on DEI. Remember, Florida eliminated DEI and Emmitt came out. So there's been some consternation. Emmitt Smith this Saturday is the honorary Mr. Two Bits.
You would think he'd have done that before.
You would think. So Emmitt Smith pregame will run out, and they generally give him a T-shirt with the former Mr. Two Bits look.
Mm-hmm.
He'll go out and he'll lead the crowd this Saturday about 3:22 before the 3:39 kickoff. He'll get the crowd all stirred up. 2 bits, 4 bits. I'm Emmitt Smith, great player, All-American. If he played on better teams, he might have been a Heisman Trophy winner.
He really could have been. Yes.
But Emmitt Smith will be Mr. Two Bits for the Florida Gators, yet his son, Emory, plays for Texas A&M. And, you know, his son, Emory, was a decent high school player.
He was.
He was recruited by Power 5 schools.
He went to Stanford, right?
And he went to Stanford.
Yeah.
For 4 years. He went to Stanford, and it came down. He considered.
So he's a pretty smart kid.
He's a smart kid. Excuse me. And the word is, when he was being recruited, I remember this a little bit, he was being looked at. He has Power 5 talent, maybe not upper echelon
like
Power
his
5, like his dad. So I think he even considered Florida. I'm not sure if it was a full ride or a walk-up, but he considered Florida. He goes to Stanford, and he's a guy. I don't have his stats in front of me, but I think his name's Emory Smith, Emmitt's son. I think. And he got playing time. He wasn't a star back at Stanford. I bet you if we looked up his 3 or 4 years at Stanford, I bet you he ran for 700-800 yards total, 800 yards.
Yeah.
And that's nothing to sneeze at.
No.
But obviously he's got a year of eligibility, so he's transferred back. Keep in mind, he grew up in Texas because his dad was a cowboy.
True.
So he's at Texas A&M, I guess his last year, right? This will be his last year. So Emmitt is leading the "We're the Boys" chant, but his son is playing for and it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't get a couple carries.
Yeah, oh, sure. Absolutely.
Interesting. I think it's being made more than it is, but isn't that interesting?
It's fascinating.
Interesting.
And good for him. I mean, look, again, I mean, if you've got a degree or the equivalent of a degree
he does have a Stanford.
From Stanford, that's pretty impressive.
And that's kind of what he went for. He went for the schooling. Hey, Brent, staying with the NFL, I feel bad for this franchise. It seems like this franchise I'm about to bring up, they're the snake bit franchise, and they've got a long way to go. My God, it looks like the Carolina Panthers are as bad as ever.
Good. No.
And obviously, with your roots in Alabama, you know Bryce Young is cast away at that poor place. I feel bad for Bryce Young.
Oh, yeah.
Former Alabama quarterback. Did you see the news they just got? It's just devastating. They got blown out in week 1. It looks like the Panthers are terrible again. And I get it. Injuries are part of sports. Brent, this isn't fair. The Carolina Panthers announced this week they don't have many Pro Bowl players. They don't have many star players at all on the roster. That's why they're terrible. Former Auburn defensive lineman Derek Brown out for the year. And he's a Pro Bowl star player.
He was at
out
Auburn
for the year. And you go, my God, what in the world did the Panthers do recently to get on the bad graces Isn't that terrible?
It is.
I think that the snake that bet the franchise, I think I know what his name is. I think his name is David Tepper. I think I've seen him before.
Tepper.
Yeah, I think that is the name of the stick. Yeah, that is the
Zach
snake that bet
obviously
him.
has Carolina roots, and Zach, he's dying to talk about those buzzards who beat the Kentucky Wildcats. But yeah, is that what it is? I mean, that's cruel and unusual punishment for Carolina. They're terrible anyway. They've got one or two decent players, and Derek Brown goes out for the year.
Yeah,
the big defensive lineman, and he was a great player at Auburn.
And Bryce Young is a tremendous quarterback. I think he may have to go to another team in order to prove it, but he is.
Oh, I mean, he has no shot. He's getting pummeled behind that offensive line as soon as the ball snaps.
Absolutely does. I mean,
sure.
he may be better off, and I'm just kidding here when I say this, folks. Bryce Young may be better off faking a high ankle sprain and saying, I'm out for 12 weeks.
Right, yeah.
Than just getting crushed again. He got mauled.
He did.
I'm telling you, I've told this story a million times. It's repetitive. I'm so sorry. What was it, week 15, week 16 here last year in Jacksonville? And, Zach, you may have been in the game. I don't think you were at the game, Brent. I was at the game. Jaguars hosted Carolina in one of those week 15, week 16, week 17 games. It's very late in the year. I think that was the worst NFL team I've ever seen in person with my eyeballs. And I went through all the early Jaguar teams. And not be mean, but some of the Jaguar teams they rolled out were terrible. That Carolina team a year ago was god-awful. God-awful.
And I don't know how much hope they've got, frankly.
No. I mean, I would anticipate the Saints being one of the worst teams in the NFL, and they just mollywopped them by like 40 points.
Yes.
So I don't think it's going to get easier.
Zach, stay on here. Brent, let's stay with this game. We got to get to it, Zach. Zach's going to have a coronary here. I didn't see South Carolina beating Kentucky that bad. I had no idea. Kentucky's terrible. They have no offensive line. Zach, you wanted that to happen, but did you look at you posted?
Yeah, check this out. Yeah, that's the SEC standings right now. I mean, Cox on top. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Get that off of the screen.
Look, it's been 4 days in a row that we've maintained the top spot in the SEC, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon.
Well, I tell you one thing. I don't think Kentucky's very good. I think it might be stale with Mark Stoops. But that damn defensive front for South Carolina was the truth.
It is. Oh, yeah.
Brent, was that a fluke game? What'd you make of South Carolina undressed Kentucky? Kentucky looked terrible, and they've got Georgia Saturday.
Well, I wonder if Kentucky was looking ahead of Georgia a little bit, but frankly, I mean, the whole deal was South Carolina. I mean, that freshman Dylan Stewart is just unbelievable for South Carolina, right, Zach?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people are saying that he's going to end up at Ohio State next year. I hope that's a joke. I hope he just stays. But, yeah, I know what you mean by that. Yeah, for sure.
Now, Lenore Sellers is a work in progress. He got a little bit better. He was awful, frankly, in the Old Dominion win. But this is a great opportunity for South Carolina. It surprised a lot of people that game day is going there. But look, point game day was.
Can they beat LSU at home?
LSU would have to put the ball on the ground a few times, I believe. And Sellers would have to play a lot better than what he's doing. I mean, their defense will keep them in the game for quite a while, won't it, Zach?
And yeah, the front four, I think they are real, and I think they can keep them in games. And I think Lenore Sellers, he does a good job. I feel like when the play breaks down, he keeps his eyes downfield and he looks for a place to throw it. I'm really concerned that the sophomore wide receiver Nick Harbor, who is taller and faster than anyone in the stadium, he hasn't touched the ball yet this year. He drew a pass interference penalty, but I mean they can't get this guy on the field. I feel like they got to find a way to put the ball in his hands. I would try to. I don't know. It's a little concerning.
Zach, the biggest problem with Sellers, the quarterback for South Carolina, he can go out and have a 3-touchdown pass game, but he might have a 4-tackle game.
Yeah.
He may tackle his own guy 4 times. What about that?
He did, and he had 0 tackles in the game against Kentucky, but he did have the end around on Juju McDowell that led to a bunch of frustration and a meltdown, potentially led to the game being as close as it was and embarrassing. But I think we cleaned part of that up, potentially.
But you're right about Nick Harbor. Nick Harbor is 6'5".
Yeah.
And he's got great speed to go along with that too. So they really need to be able to take advantage of him all they could. You know, another interesting thing about South Carolina, as good as that defense is, guys, Pup Howard's at Florida.
Yeah, he's at Florida.
If he stayed in South Carolina, how much better would they be with him?
With that, Brent, I want to take this segment, Zach, if it's okay. I want to take this to the top of the hour. We'll have Dr. Bates talking sports medicine from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. With that, Brent, I've listed a few games that really intrigued me from the college game. Number one, high noon, Fox. The crew will be there, which I think they're the best in the business, the Fox crew. Alabama.
Yeah.
At Wisconsin. Is this a dicey game at all? Wisconsin at home. Alabama figured it out in the second half, late in the fourth quarter. What do you see, Bama on the road at Wisconsin?
I think they end up winning the game. I mean, Bama's got the better roster. I think they end up winning the game by a couple of touchdowns, but you never know. It's on the road. Now that they've had some tough road games before, so that won't rattle them. A lot of it's going to depend upon their offensive line and how good their offensive line. Their offensive line really was not very good. And now they put Elijah Pritchett in the game, and they scored three straight possessions after Pritchett came in the game, so that made a difference.
Is that, you know, Bama back-to-back years, South Florida has given them hell.
They have.
Is that just one of those things?
I think it is.
Just kind of one of those matchup, Bama mental, and I don't want to take anything away from South Florida because, hell, I tuned that thing in the second half, and they ran it down Bama's throat there for a while. Is it just one of those things, though? They had a good game last year, and they followed up with a good game this year?
Well, the Bama, for some reason, has not played well in the second game. I'm not sure what that's about, but some teams are able to do that. Now, look, here's a big thing that we need to watch for. Our former friend Tyler Van Dyke at Miami is a quarterback at Wisconsin.
Wow, we talked about that a week ago. I forgot about that.
So is he any better?
Who was going to be a star at Miami for the Hurricanes?
Yes.
His flame burnout quit. He's the starting quarterback at Wisconsin. Fun game. You got to pay attention.
Yep, you do.
Alabama, noon at Wisconsin,
right.
Fox. LSU, South Carolina, we talked about. That's the ABC noon game, so they'll battle. It's funny. LSU, South Carolina, ABC will battle one SEC team, Bama, which isn't that weird? It used to be CBS, dominant. Anyway, noon, another noon game. Memphis on the road at FSU, and I'm telling you, the only FSU fans that aren't nervous right now, excuse me, the only FSU fans that are not nervous right now don't know Memphis football.
Correct.
That should be a good football game. I don't know what the spread is. We'll make our picks on Friday. I don't know who wins that game. Where's FSU's mental state right now?
We don't know. And that's huge in that game. Yeah, look, if they get Terry with that quarterback in Memphis, Hennigan, if FSU gets behind like 14-0 and they're having to chase points the whole game, it could be a long day.
Ooh, that is so. I love the noon slate. Bama, Wisconsin, they never play. It's a fun intersectional noon. LSU, South Carolina, one of the early SEC. Okay, LSU, if you're going to be a player, you got to go swat South Carolina.
You do.
If you don't swat them, okay, LSU, Brian Kelly, you're just going to be LSU.
Yeah.
You're not going to be special. Memphis at FSU noon, ESPN. What about 12:45 SEC Network? I've kind of put an asterisk by this. I'm not saying it's going to be one of my take the underdog in points. Boston College 2-0 at Missouri.
Both those teams are ranked.
Both ranked and both kind of want to punch you in the face.
Yes.
Drinkwitz,
yes.
That's his style. Obviously, the NFL coaching staff at Boston College. Brent, does that matchup make for a good football game?
Well, it's an intriguing game. I mean, we remember, much to the chagrin of FSU fans, Boston College running for what, about 260 or 280?
Over 250, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's an issue. But, yeah, that in the That's one of the only. There are only 2 games between ranked teams this year, but that is a good game. Let me throw this out here. You hear things like I do. Now, what I was told this week is if they make a move at Florida, the 2 guys that they're looking at, obviously one is Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. The other one is Eli Drinkwitz.
Really?
Yes.
Because I've heard Drinkwitz, his name kind of with Notre Dame if they make a move. And I like that because he's got kind of a no-nonsense. Notre Dame wants no nonsense.
Right.
Interesting. Hey,
yes.
Drinkwitz, he can rub you a little wrong unless he's your coach.
Yes.
Unless he's your guy.
But he's got a pretty good sense of humor.
He does. And you know what? He wants to punch you in the mouth.
That's right.
And he's not going to back away from a fight.
But it's like we said, if they make a move, they have got to go and get a sitting Power 5 successful college coach, correct?
I agree. They cannot play the up-and-comer.
No.
Let's pay $7 million again for an up-and-comer and pray to God the up-and-comer. Hey, don't get me wrong. Up-and-coming coaches from Louisiana and Southern Miss, occasionally they turn into.
Right. But they can't do that again.
I don't think Florida can roll the dice again.
No, they can't.
They need to miss on a guy with a resume, not with a guy on a potential resume.
Yeah, exactly. And look, we're not saying it's Drinkwitz, but the reality is, let's just say that it is. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's had success, beat Ohio State in the bowl game.
I'll tell you a guy I think is getting him back into coaching, and I looked him up over the weekend, and you can it's just me.
Jimbo?
He's 52 years old. He won 34 games at Florida. He won 10 games a year, and people said he can't recruit. Well, if you're winning 10 games a year in the SEC, something went right.
Yeah.
And he's good-looking, young, 52, is Dan Mullen. I can't see Dan Mullen not getting back in the coach. He's 52 years old.
Right. Well,
if I'm Notre Dame, I would consider Drinkwitz and Dan Mullen.
But if you're going to have Dan Mullen, you've got to either have a tremendous portal situation, or you've got to have him inherit a lot of talent, because his problem at Florida is he did not want to recruit.
But I mean, he still won 10 games 3 times out of 5 years.
Yeah.
So he brought in some talent. I don't know. You just don't stumble into 10 wins playing an SEC schedule. And he did it 3 times. Right?
And I agree with you, but look,
interesting.
There would have to be a lot of I'll say this: I would hire him over Urban.
Probably, I would. I might. We've talked A&M Florida. We can get back to A&M Florida. We're close now. We got about 7 minutes before the top of the hour, and we'll have Dr. Bates for a quick segment talking sports medicine from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. I'm going to tell you a game that could get ugly, and it could make all the headlines. And the team that is the underdog has got a chip on their shoulder. The team that's going to be slightly favored is scattered. I don't know if many people know this whole history, but Colorado State
is hosting. They sure are.
Colorado and Deion Sanders for the first time at Colorado State since '96. They were supposed to play in the COVID year, and it got canceled. They haven't always played. When they do play, it was neutral or at Colorado. Things got very chippy last year between Deion Sanders and another Norvelle, Jay Norvelle.
That's right. Yeah.
Jay Norvelle.
Yeah, there's no kumbaya there, is it?
He's an up-and-coming coach.
He is.
He was at Nevada.
Right.
He's now at Colorado State. And I think Colorado State is laying for Colorado. And they could put a number on Colorado if they win.
Do people remember Mike Bobo was a head coach at Colorado State?
Hard to remember. Hard to remember.
It really is.
But that is a 7:30 CBS game.
It is.
And I'm telling you, your boy Deion thinks he got embarrassed Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Colorado State. And I don't know if they're really good or not.
Right.
But it looks like Shiloh Sanders is out.
Yes.
Shador is banged up. How much longer does Travis Hunter run out there and get his head taken off.
Right.
How much longer, and I know we're only 2 games in, going into the third game, how much longer does Colorado's roster just not go?
This
could be Dion could lose again Saturday easily.
Easily. And if the kids can't play, does he lose that team by midseason?
Well, I think it's really close. I think it's really, really, really close. And explain what you mean to our younger people. If you lose a team, it's not snapping the ball, throwing the ball, catching the ball.
No.
What do you mean by that?
It's a locker room and it's culture. If you have nothing to play for, and these kids are saying, look, I'm getting a little bit of money, but they promised me a chance to be here and to play against some of the better teams in America. It looks like now that's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to play for anything. So
all of a sudden, what do you mean our games are not on national TV?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're playing at noon on a regional network.
Right.
Wait a minute, I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So and the reality is Dion experienced enough right now, Terry, to hold that together if it goes sideways.
I don't think he does have the inner experience to hold that together.
Sure.
And when we say lose a team, and I hate to throw Florida back into this, the Florida, we brought up Mullen, the Florida Mullen team that played Oklahoma in a bowl game,
right?
The team was gone.
Yeah. Oh, he was.
The team was gone.
Absolutely.
They are real close to that at Colorado, wouldn't you say?
Oh,
they are real close to that.
Well, and what we don't know is, and I'm really hoping this doesn't happen, is Florida State in there too?
They're close.
Oh, they are, aren't they?
FSU is one more. If FSU loses Saturday to Memphis in Tallahassee, I think the season's gone.
If that's 35-14, that's a problem.
I think the team will be gone, and you're talking 2 wins gone.
Yeah.
Am I way too dramatic here?
No. And look, but people need to understand that even with the incentive of NIL and winning championships and getting to the playoffs and so forth, Terry, if your season's literally over in September, how motivated are these kids going to be?
We've talked a little bit. I'm not sure you were on every time I brought this up. Take the FSU football program / brand and back up about 9 months.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
They were they were 11-0, 12-0. And they were 11-12-0. I know they ended up 13-0, but they were 0 heading to the back end of their season.
Yep.
And they were looking at number one, they were thinking, I'm going to watch the Heisman candidate show.
Yes.
Our guy's going to be up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were 11-0. They were 12-0. They were thinking playoff, right? We know the injury. We know the situation. We know the playoff committee. We know the game against Georgia. How far has the FSU football brand, Brent, fallen in 8 months?
And look, here's what they're dealing with right now. And recent games have changed this. I know we're heading to break. Okay, they've got Memphis. Then after that, Terry, they got Cal, the team that carved up Auburn.
And where did that come from?
Oh, yeah. And then now they have an away game at SMU. And then
SMU plays good football.
They do. And October 5th, they've got Clemson.
And those games aren't world beaters, but if you've thrown in the towel and if you've lost the culture that you said, if you've lost the locker room, you know what? Wherever those games are, you don't want to go to the airport. You don't want to leave the girlfriend. You don't want to be gone for 2 days. You go, this isn't fun.
But I tell you this, if Florida State's not motivated to win those games, I guarantee you the other teams are.
Yeah. Quick minute before the top of the hour. You're sticking around. We got Dr. Bates. What the hell's going on at Auburn? They're supposed to be better in year 2.
Yeah, we need to pick up on that.
That was miserable.
Look, right now, you've got quarterback decisions at Auburn, at Florida State, and at least I think they'll be able to handle them at Florida. but you've got several teams that have got, and Auburn's one of them. Peyton Thorne is not fooling anyone. It doesn't strike the fear in anyone's heart.
And Colorado was more physical. They were stronger. They looked faster. They looked more motivated. That was in Auburn. For God's sake.
Look, and Terry, I'm telling you, that Cal quarterback was tremendous.
He really was. And some of those linebackers and defensive players for Cal, I mean, they just manhandled the Auburn offensive line.
And look, here's what's coming.
I mean, that's Wilcox or whoever at Cal.
Justin Wilcox. Yeah. After New Mexico, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Missouri in a row.
My goodness. They're supposed to take a step up, and they haven't. Let's take a break here. Brent Beaird's going to stick around into hour number 2. We'll talk some sports medicine, hopefully on the other side with Dr. Aaron Bates. You know our Wednesday segment from Twin Peaks. Of course, we talk sports medicine. Tyson Campbell, David Njoku, a couple of NFL quarterbacks starting to drop. It happens every year. Jordan Love, Josh Allen, a lot of injuries, unfortunately, in and around the world of sports. We'll talk to that. Talk to Dr. Aaron Bates about all those injuries and more on the other side. One down, one to go. It's a Wednesday edition of the Young Norvelle Show right here from Twin Peaks.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, midweek on a Wednesday, you know what that means. We got to talk some sports medicine with Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, the best orthopedic surgeon in the area. I guarantee you that. And he is kind enough to drop some of his knowledge on us. Doc, first of all, I do believe I've got this right. A Towson State big win over, was it Morgan State? I think we got a hold of, and you whooped them like 16-9. I think you put a whooping on them, didn't you?
Low scoring game, but we pulled it out.
Hey, I don't know what that Morgan State, did they think they were going to roll in and knock off the Tigers? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man, probably. We usually beat them up pretty good, but I'm beating them by a touchdown. They must be getting better.
Hey, W is a W, baby. Early in the year, you get them now, and you get the W's now, and that gets you to a bowl game later, you know. So good win for our Tigers of Towson State. Dr. Bates played a little ball there himself, as you can probably tell. Doc, obviously you watched the Jaguar game, weird game, and you thought Jacksonville had it. They kind of give it away in the second half, getting shut out. One of the big images, other than the fumble in the end zone, was Tyson Campbell comes off the field, and his body language, he's nursing now a hammy that has given him hell. He's also nursing a bit of a quad. And, Doc, I don't know, you can tell us, are those related a lot of times? But that hamstring, his body language looked like it's serious. And now you're starting to hear word out of Jaguar camp, it may be multiple games before Tyson's back. Hamstring, quad, are they related? Why is the hammy so temperamental, the hamstring?
Well, both the hamstring and the quad, they're our biggest muscle groups on our body.
Okay.
They both cross two joints. And so the hamstring is there to extend the hip and flex the knee. And so it's acting on two different joints. Same thing with the quad. But when you have one of those groups that's kind of opposing, like the quad, and that's not working so well, then yeah, it does lead to possible hamstring injuries.
Doc, when somebody has like a hamstring and it can be temperamental, there are, and I know every patient's different. Every human body, I guess, is to a degree different. But there are some kind of guidelines. I know you docs will say, okay, a sprained ankle is generally 6, and a this is generally 8, and a this. When a guy has like a hamstring, and whatever the general number is, do you sit down with that patient? And at this level, would you even pull out a schedule and go, hey, man, are you wanting to go rehab as much as you can every day? Maybe we can shave off a week or two, or is there any, like, I don't want to say cheating, but if the patient wants to go 110 miles an hour and live in rehab and live on, I don't know, I'm talking out of my ultrasound and massage, and is there a way to go 110 miles an hour in rehab if you talk to the patient? Or do you shy away from that and say, hey, that could backfire? How does something like that work?
Yeah, you can certainly overdo it, but these professional athletes are getting the best care that money can buy. And so they're getting all the good things to help them heal. Now, the other thing that you can't predict is how one person's body is going to respond, compared to another person's body. And so a 2-week layoff may be another person's 4 weeks.
Yeah. Boy, I just didn't like his body language when he came off the sideline, and I think you saw what we saw and what I'm referencing. When he came off, man, I don't think he slammed his helmet down, but it almost looked like he was ready to say, and that sometimes can speak volumes. Speaking of the game coming up Sunday, Jaguars hosting Cleveland, the tight end for the Browns, David Njoku, former Miami Hurricane, real athletic guy. He absolutely torched the Jaguars a year ago. Had 6 catches, 91 yards, two touchdowns. Doc, I brought up a couple weeks ago, and I hope I didn't jinx this. I don't know if you remember, I said, where is the high ankle sprain? We used to hear the high ankle sprain all the time. And I don't want injuries. I don't like injuries. I don't want anybody to be injured. But all of a sudden here, David Njoku against the Cowboys, high ankle sprain week to week. Catch us up again. What defines a ankle sprain / not just the high part, but what differentiates high ankle sprain and it's worse than a standard ankle sprain?
So there's standard ligaments that tend to get sprained first before you get to a high ankle sprain. They're the ligaments that are lower down, closer to the foot, on both the inside and outside of the ankle. Those typically are the most common ligaments to be sprained. Now, as the energy of the injury goes through the ankle joint and kind of tracks up the leg at the end of the leg there, right there, in between the tibia bone and the fibula bone, there's a taut tendon ligaments, taut pair of ligaments.
Right.
That can be sprained or injured during a high ankle sprain. Some so bad, like we talked about before, that require surgery where you put that tightrope device in there so somebody can go back and play sooner.
Interesting. Hey, Doc, I want to take a second. We don't do this enough on the show. Obviously, Dr. Aaron Bates, our sports medicine expert, orthopedic surgeon from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Doc, the listener, the parent, the student athlete, the high school athlete that's watching or listening that unfortunately might have something going on, they can reach you, right? I mean, they can reach out to you and your office. How does that work? And I know a lot of times some people are like, well, gosh darn, the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, they're big time, and this is a big time surgeon. It can be a little intimidating. I mean, you encourage and Southeast, call us, come out on Saturday, or call us, come in, see us. You're not just high level. I mean, you guys treat everybody, right?
Yeah, we treat everyone, particularly during the football season. We have the bumps and bruises like you've been advertising for us so nicely. And we see all types of athletes, not just football players.
Yeah.
Just young people that have an injury that may want to get a free exam and look at their injury. And then anybody that's working with athletic trainers at a school, they can get in touch with our office through our sports program, and they can get in pretty quickly.
And you know, Doc, I've known, and I do know enough attorneys in town. I'm born and raised here. I know a lot of guys that are attorneys. And what I was kind of describing a moment ago is a lot of times there's a trepidation or a wait a minute, maybe, and I'm going to talk on the legal side for a moment. Well, wait a minute. You know, I may have a legal situation, but you know what? Calling a big time attorney's office, I don't have that level. That's for big stuff. And that's for, you know, and people are intimidated a little bit to call a legal office. I wonder if that happens sometime. Well, you know, it's just my ankle and I'm a weekend warrior. Or, well, there really shouldn't be a differentiating, right? I mean, if
those things may happen, but they shouldn't. You know, if you have an injury, just come on in. We'll see. We see anybody for anything.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
subspecialists for each body part.
Exactly, and it's not one of these. Well, wait a minute, Southeast orthopedic specialist Dr. Bates, man, he's for an NFL level guy or a high Power 5 level athlete, and not, I'm a lacrosse player at XYZ, or well, that all counts, right? I mean, don't be intimidated.
All of it counts.
Yeah,
all of it counts.
Don't be intimidated, right?
Weekend warriors. We see folks that are playing pickleball. Remember we had that pickleball conversation before?
Absolutely.
So all ages, all injuries.
Doc, before we let you go, I know we've talked, you and I, with Patrick before, your athletic career. What was and I don't want to bring up bad news, but obviously you're a former high-level athlete yourself. What was the worst athletic injury that you can attribute to the playing field that you had as a player?
Well, one of the reasons I do the things that I do now is that I tore my ACL my redshirt freshman year in college.
Ooh.
And that was unfortunately over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But the way they dealt with it back then is not the way we deal with it now. And so I felt like I had less than optimal care pre and post operatively.
I remember you telling us this.
I vowed that I would never let another athlete go through that.
Doc, when you had that injury, did you know immediately it was serious? Did your body tell you it was serious immediately?
I didn't, because mine was different because it was more of a contact injury. At least I thought it was.
Right.
When I was making a cut or something like that and felt the pop, I got actually hit in the knee right when I was making a cut. And so it took a while, 30 minutes to an hour to find out that my knee wasn't feeling quite right.
Yeah. Did you, and I don't know, obviously at some point the news was delivered to you and or your family at the same time, but when the news was delivered, this is going to be a long injury and rehab and all. Do you still remember that discussion and how that discussion was delivered to you? And do you take that when you talk to athletes? Do you remember that?
Most definitely. I use that today.
Interesting.
It's an art form to tell somebody that they're going to be out the rest of the season.
Oh.
Maybe it's their senior year.
Yeah.
Was it yours in the office today?
Was it your senior year?
No, it was my redshirt freshman year in college.
Okay. Was it earlier or late or middle in the year?
Mid-season.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's tough. But you remember the discussion?
Most definitely.
You're like, am I hearing this? Is he really saying this? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Good stuff, Doc. I appreciate it. Do you know who? Do you know who's Townsend got this coming Saturday? Do you know who are we beating this Saturday?
I never even looked at it.
Okay.
No, we play Villanova. We play Villanova.
That's right. I looked it up. Villanova. You guys can beat them, right?
Yeah, we can beat them. We beat them on before.
Doc, thumbnail review. You saw the Jaguar game, the fumble in the end zone. I don't think either team, Miami or Jacksonville, played real well, but man, that felt like one the Jaguars gave away.
Yeah, that was the turning point of the game.
Yeah.
Can't have those turnovers.
Oh, into the end zone. Could have been 24-7. Doc, thank you, buddy, for your candidness earlier. Doc,
I'm never going to tell.
Doc, what position did you play?
Free safety.
Oh, free safety. Oh, you're a headhunter. You were a headhunter.
A little bit.
You said a little bit. Patrick, you know what that means. He took some heads off is what he did. Hey, Dr. Banks, thank you, buddy.
Is it a pre-decision when you see like they're trying to do that long ball that you're going to go for the ball or you're going to go for the hit? Is it a pre-decision?
I had a problem with that. I was a little crazy. And so even if I could get to the ball, sometimes I went to the hit. That's what I got in trouble for. But back then, you could do that.
Doc, be nice. Doc, be nice. You've taken a Hippocratic oath to help mankind, okay?
Back then I didn't.
Get him out of here. That's Dr. Aaron Bates,
Back then,
from
I didn't.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Yes, you can reach him and his office. They are right here helping our community. Great bumps and bruises Saturday morning clinics they've done now, expanding it to 4 locations. Take advantage, folks. You'll be glad you did. Thanks, Dr. Aaron Bates. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be rejoined with Brent Beaird and Patrick Young through this nasty storm, talking some college and NFL ball and a little baseball. My God, have you seen the numbers of the Chicago White Sox and their record? They are setting a futility record. It is a mess. That and a whole lot more. Hang tight, Patrick. Hang tight, Brent Beaird. We're coming back. It is a Wednesday hump day edition of the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jax. It is the Young and Norvelle Show.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jax with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I was tempted.
It's more than just food. It's a tradition, a heritage. It's about my family and the smiles on their faces. It's about the flavor, the meat, the love, the community. Our community. Barbecue is who we are, and it's what we do.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
I'll tell you one thing, that high angle shot of our city, that's been about the same shot for about 2 weeks now. I know we had drought-like conditions as we welcome back to the Young Norvelle Show. Terry Norvelle here, sitting on the floor not on the floor, in the dining area of Twin Peaks. Not on the floor. We've actually got chairs here. Brent Beaird, but my buddy Brent Beaird joining me right here inside Twin Peaks, our Wednesday home. Patrick Young, we think, still joining us. We'll catch up with Pat in a moment. If you break our summer down, and a lot of people say it was such a hot summer, I'm not so sure this was a hotter summer, but if you remember, we had about a 5 or 6 week run where we got no rain.
Right.
It was brittle.
And it was 100 degrees every day.
Every day it was brittle. We didn't get that cool down shower. It was brittle there for 5 or 6 weeks. Well, I don't know if it was any hotter. It just felt like it was. Well, now we're getting too much rain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Boy, I hope it mellows a little bit over time. But listen, in the South, there were, I saw the Kentucky game, the Alabama game. Kickoff temperature was about 72, and it was, my brother told me in Alabama, Terry, and I always hesitate to say this, that the low was from 48 to 54. Woo! Could you get all over that right now?
You think? Brent Beaird joining us here. Brent, I want to hit some other college topics and games and teams and programs. I know I brought this up preseason, in the offseason during the summer. I said there's a pretty good chance, I think, that by the end of the season, there will be a really, really, really good offensive line coach available. And by the end of this college football season, there will be a really, really, really good defensive coordinator available. And this past Saturday, it appeared that might have been the nail in the coffin for Sam Pittman at Arkansas. They should have won that game.
Oh, yes.
I took Oklahoma State and kind of I thought they would beat them bad. Arkansas gave that game away.
And almost ran them off the field.
And they did, and they had some poor second-half decisions.
They did.
I think Pittman's days may be numbered. I think he'll be back on the market, and somebody will go get a really good offensive line coach. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. And
Dave Aranda.
And
Baylor, go ahead.
Agree.
Go ahead.
I love Aranda, too. Would it surprise you if Bobby Petrino took over for Pittman?
And you could see that coming.
Yeah.
You really can. And, and Arkansas wants to win.
They do.
They've got some money. But it looks like the Sam Pittman thing, he might fall under the Terry Norvelle. I've said it for 100 years. He's an assistant coach.
Yeah.
And he can be, I think even Sam Pittman, with his resume and his experience, he makes a great executive head coach.
Yeah.
Associate head coach. Offensive
Sure
line guy. A great recruiter. But I think somebody gets a really good offensive line coach, because I think Pittman is fired at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And Dave Aranda. Utah, the final score, and I know this was a game Patrick picked, and he really should have gotten a hit, and he missed it. Utah was up 23-0.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
12, by the way, points for Aranda, and that killed the cover of 17. Baylor and Dave Aranda, it just hasn't worked.
No.
He may be another guy. I think he's a really good defense coordinator.
He is.
I just don't think he's the head coach. You're going to have a really good OL and a really good DC out there.
Yeah, you sure are.
Somebody could grab Billy Napier. Billy Napier.
Yeah,
Billy Napier.
Now Now I'll tell you another guy who may be available one way or another. Now, he may just retire as Mark Stoops at Kentucky.
It's stale there.
I saw a tweet. Now, get this a minute ago. I saw a tweet a minute ago that I had to look at it 2 or 3 times. It said Kentucky beat Florida 3 times in a row. And the coach that really may be going after the end of the year is Stoops.
How about that? What are your thoughts on Kentucky? They stunk it up the other day.
They did. They really did.
They just didn't look very good. Kentucky's calling card under the Mark Stoops rebirth or birth, I guess. They really had no rebirth. They've never been great. But Mark Stoops at Kentucky, his calling card is offensive line.
Yes.
We are going to, and they've put guys in the NFL,
They have.
and they have had they call it the big blue wall or whatever.
Yeah.
That offensive line was terrible.
It was
And
awful.
Don't you feel sometimes things just get stale?
They do.
And
They
Mark
do.
Stoops, I think,
Yes.
doesn't he get a name on the wall somewhere?
Oh, I think he gets a statue.
He gets a statue.
He deserves
But that
it.
doesn't mean it kind of peaked and it's stale.
Yeah.
It feels stale to me.
And Vandergriff was, well, I mean, he threw for about, with the sacks, less than 40 yards.
Mhm.
So, no, I'm with you. It's sad to see where that's going, but I mean, he flirted with that with the A&M job. How close that was,
Yeah.
We're not really sure, but offensive line has been a problem with the Kentucky. Gosh, they've got to play better this week, don't they, against Georgia than they did against South Carolina?
You would think, and obviously Georgia's Georgia, and they're not South Carolina, but yeah, they've got to go out and show a little more.
Yeah, they really do.
They've got to go out and show them. That's in Lexington, I think, but
yeah, it sure is.
Georgia should walk away before, but yeah, Kentucky really needs to show that they haven't kind of quit and it's stale. Clemson, what do you make of Clemson and Dabo? And they were the most recent team, or maybe the only team, to consistently over a chunk of years, 4 or 5 or 6 years. I mean, they stood toe-to-toe and threw punches with Alabama.
Yeah.
With Dabo, it feels stale there. And I know there's a philosophical, does he got to change with the portal? But what are your thoughts on Dabo and the staleness of Clemson football?
They've got a good defensive line with the Woods kid who came from Alabama. Clay Kubnik is okay. He's nothing special. But Dabo's not going to change his philosophy on transfers. But look, again, you and I've said this for years now. You don't have to get 20 of them. All you got to do is get like 3 or 4.
Yep.
And if you do that, that bolsters what you've got. Unlike Dabo, he can probably coach there. I'm not going to say for a lifetime contract.
Right.
But he could coach there, what, Terry? Easily another 2 or 3 years, and without it getting really hot. But at some point, they would need to win the conference, don't you think?
Yeah. Does he want to do this a little bit and shake Dabo up and go find a new, fresh start? Or does he just stay at Clemson?
That makes you wonder. It really does.
You wonder. And I'm not saying he can't turn it back around at Clemson, but sometimes I always use the word stale.
Yeah.
Sometimes things just get stale.
They
I
do.
think in the general job market, sometime if you've banged out the TPS reports as an accountant for 12 years at Blue Cross, sometime you might need to look for a.
Here's the other thing with that league right now that might keep him there for a while. There's no real bell cow in that league.
No.
Now you've got Georgia, Texas, Alabama. You could also throw Ole Miss and Missouri in there. But Terry, when you look at it right now for the ACC, I mean, Florida State obviously won last year, but they're nowhere near that right now. Miami may be in a resurgence. We'll see as the season goes along. Here's Clemson. They're 9-3-ish, maybe even 10-2, but they're not really winning anything. North Carolina State aren't really doing anything either. So the point is that there really is no dominant team in the ACC right now.
If we had a bug planted in the ACC home office, are some of the big wigs in the ACC home office, are they chuckling a little bit at the start for Florida State and Clemson?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The programs that are suing them, are they chuckling a little bit?
Yes, absolutely.
And are they chuckling mainly because we're probably not going to be married together anyway? You don't want to chuckle if they're not leaving you. They're part of your world. But are they chuckling a little bit?
I'm sure. The problem is, the way they're looking at it, Florida State bragged all summer that they were leaving and that they deserve more money and that they were better than everyone else was in the league. So, the brethren and the rivals there. And look, here, Terry, here's the thing about it. They really haven't gone on the road yet in the league. Can you imagine the signs And what they're going to be hearing all year?
You would think FSU's going to, and more than Clemson, they've been the bell cow carrying the poster. With that said, if you're the ACC, if you're the big boys that run the ACC, and you've got to have a champion in your conference football, you really would prefer it not to be FSU or Clemson in a weird way. You just don't want to hoist that trophy in December, and everybody knows, okay,
they're leaving.
With that said, do you say, man, if we got to have a champion in football anyway, come on Miami more than, say, Boston College or Syracuse, because Boston College and Syracuse, if one of those guys won the football championship in the ACC, the rest of the world, the college football world, will go,
oh, they would just yawn.
Wouldn't you just rather Miami? At least they've got sort of a panache name than BC. And I love the way BC plays, but does the ACC really want Boston College to hoist that thing, or Syracuse? Wouldn't they just say, come on, Miami, win the damn thing?
Yeah. Now, I'll say this, Fran Brown for Syracuse, who came from Georgia, he may be – that may be a pretty good program in 2 or 3 years.
Maybe. I'm bouncing with this with you, but you're our college football analyst, and that's kind of what you do. 20-8, Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, into his third year, 20 wins, 8 losses. He's almost losing – every second game he loses. Every second game he loses. Notre Dame make a move. Will this thing end? Their schedule's not that tough.
It's not.
Which means they can get some wins, but they can't get any marquee wins.
No.
The only potential marquee win they could get is USC, the final game of the year.
True.
And I don't know if you've got USC scheduled there. I think USC is looking at 3 or 4 losses before it's over.
Probably.
They're in the Big Ten, for God's sakes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Does Marcus Freeman,
I'm not.
Is that just a bad experiment that just didn't work?
Neither one of us are Freeman fans.
As a head coach.
As a head coach. They did and look, I've never been a proponent of this. They made the easy transition.
They really did.
We're going to elevate one of the coordinators to that spot.
I don't mean to cut you off. I stole your line from a day or two ago when we were talking. I don't know if we were on the air or just talking, but I stole your line when I was talking to a buddy of mine about college football, and we got talking about the Marcus Freemans of the world.
Yeah.
And I stole your line. I said, most of the time when the feel-good players make the hire, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And you said something, I'm paraphrasing how you said it, but we've seen that before when there's a when there's an interim and there's an opening and the players pick.
Yes.
And the players kind of picked Marcus Freeman, right?
They did.
And it generally, when the players make the emotional pick,
right?
Well, he's our interim and we're going to play for him and give him the job. Yeah, we win 4-5, and then it dies out.
Yeah,
I stole that from you. Talk about it.
Well, look, we're not saying it can't work.
It can't work, sure.
Because obviously it's worked before. The reality is, look at Dabo.
Yeah,
Dabo was on the staff,
and my buddy pointed out that Clemson, it might have worked.
Yeah,
with Clemson.
Yeah, yes.
Remember the player said he was just an interim guy with no resume.
Right.
We love this guy, and it didn't work.
No,
but it doesn't generally work, does it?
No, it really. Well, and there are tons of examples. Mike Dubose in Alabama was one of the greatest defensive line coaches that there's ever been. But Dubose and amazingly won 10 years and beat Florida twice and won an SEC championship in 1999.
Yeah.
And then was going in 2000.
Yeah.
But oftentimes it really doesn't work. You're better off going to get what we've said this a couple of times now, get a sitting head coach in a Power 4 conference that has won before.
I agree.
And if you can do that,
I agree.
Your odds are much better. And now that Florida has done that, you can't do that again.
No, you can't. We're coming up on a break. We'll have one segment left with Brent Beaird. Talking a lot of college football here on the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you from our Wednesday home, Twin Peaks. You know that by now. We're here every single hump day at Twin Peaks. Way too early to judge, but along the lines of what we just spent 10 minutes talking about, and the roster picks the coach. Does Michigan have the right guy?
No, they all love him.
You went quick.
They all love him.
You went quick. Is he the right guy?
They all love him, and I get that. And probably now I understand that more probably than I do some others. We all knew Harbaugh was leaving.
Mm-hmm.
He knew what was coming. He wasn't going to hang around. And you've got to give it to somebody. And I understand that too. But my question, to answer your question, will he be the answer in 2, 3, or 4 years?
Two,
right?
3 or 4 years. And gosh darn, I love the way you think. In 2, 3, or 4 years, when the national championship aura has started to rub off.
Yes.
Right now,
yes.
Michigan fan, and they wanted to win Saturday, but you and I knew they weren't winning Saturday. Frankly, I think they got out a little bit of a break, not getting beat worse.
Probably.
You know they weren't. But that Michigan fan that walked out of Michigan Stadium, you know what? They've got the panache of a national title right here.
And that means a lot.
And you know what?
Really does.
That Saturday by 5 o'clock, they went back to their tailgate at Ann Arbor.
Right.
And they went, okay, Texas is a lot better football team. They may win the national title. They beat us 30, whatever, 12, blah, blah, blah. Hold on. They polished up their national championship trophy a little more.
It's still shiny, isn't it?
Right.
Still shiny.
So that euphoria lasts a couple years.
It does.
And it should.
It does.
But
it gives you equity.
You hit it. Come see me 2, 3 years from now. And Sharon Moore, I think is that his name?
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Just don't think he's the guy to lead. Is he the guy to lead Michigan the next 12 years?
And what we got to remember is he still wasn't the head guy.
No.
Now he was very involved, and we get that in the coordinator situation.
Yeah.
But at some point, And again, Terry and I are not saying you can't try that, because teams do it all the time, and guys earn their stripes by doing so. But Terry, it's such a difference from being even a high profile coordinator to being the head coach, and all you've got to do for that.
It really is. When we come back, one final segment, we'll wrap it up with some more college football talk. Brent Beaird here. I'm Terry Norvelle. Glad you're with us here on a Wednesday edition. Tomorrow we will be live at Sliders Oyster Bar, and we will give away our 2 Florida Texas A&M tickets. We've got like 25 people already registered. Patrick got some people set up. They're in the drawing. We will then tomorrow, sometime between tonight, tomorrow, and before we go on the air, I'll post how more people can register to get in the drawing. It's going to be a random drawing, and we're going to give away 2 tickets to Florida Texas A&M. I'm going to that game. I think you're going to that game Saturday. We're going to be wet.
I've been concerned about that. Yeah,
I don't want to get wet. When we come back, though, we've touched a little bit. We've kind of knocked on the door a little bit, but we haven't had the college football season yet get to the point where we've got the big boys about to start playing.
Yeah,
I mean, big boy playing
quickly.
Big boy.
Yes.
And what's cool is we get to watch it, but it's not end all be all.
That's right.
We got 12 teams that'll get in. But we haven't had the big boys yet. Michigan, Texas, you and I knew that wasn't big on big because Michigan's in rebuild in terms of national title. We'll talk about some of the big on big games that are right down the road and who might be 3 or 4 teams trying to nudge their way into the big, including Tennessee.
That's right. Oh,
guys, like Tennessee. That and a whole lot more. 1 segment left. Do not go anywhere. If you love college football, you're going to love the next segment. Terry Norvelle, Brent Beaird, and you right here on Action Sports Jacks. It is the Young Norvelle Show from Twin Peaks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
There it is. There is that standard shot that we have had. That rain, go away, come again another day. But I guess we have, as we welcome you back to the Young Norvelle Show, I want to thank Zach Rothrock for producing here. We had a lot of rain, and Brent was fighting to get here, and Patrick's been on and off, and I'm here, and blah, blah, blah. Thanks, Zach, for everything you do on the back end. I'm assuming, are we back to the water table where we need to be? Is our water table gotten?
If we're not, we've got to be closed.
I know it's easy to go, damn, it's rained a lot. But
is that the Aqua Fund Keystone Heights thing?
I know it's easy to say, damn, it's rained a lot, but
really,
we went about 6 weeks without no rain.
Oh yeah,
right at the beginning of the summer.
Absolutely.
But what do they say? Mother Nature. The worst thing about Mother Nature is when it comes too much of it.
Oh yeah,
too much drought, too much rain. Too much snow,
right?
Too much hurricane, right?
I'll tell you one thing that we really haven't, and one team we haven't talked about is Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a fabulous defense.
What are they?
And their defense is almost junior college. I mean, their offense is
what
almost junior college.
They won 16-12.
Yeah.
16-12.
Jackson Arnold continues to struggle. They muffed not one but 2 punts in that game. Now the defense is unbelievable. And what's funny about it is Brent Venables talked a lot after the game about his punter. What does that tell you?
I did read that. I read that. He won the game for us, blah, 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 blah. And he made a joke about having to talk about the punter.
Yeah.
We talked as we broke a moment ago. Last week, I know it was the noon game, and it got a bunch of publicity. Anybody that knows college football knew Michigan, Texas wasn't going to play out as it played out on paper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
We are closing in. I don't think we've got them this week, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we're closing in on big. And when I say big on big, you realize the big boys right now, what it appears the big boys, and help me out, I may be missing one. It looks like on paper, and this can change, there are 4 big boys right now: Texas, Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State.
Right.
They're going to start playing.
Well,
they're going to start playing each other.
Well, I tell you what, you mentioned this a minute ago. We're close to adding Tennessee into that. And Tennessee plays Oklahoma next weekend.
And Tennessee plays Oklahoma. They're all going to start playing.
Yes, they are.
You've got Ole Miss, Tennessee, probably on that next level. But the beautiful thing is, I don't think it's going to diminish the regular season. That 12-team playoff, it's going to feel like the NFL. I mean,
it is.
You and I aren't big NFL guys, but we know the league, and we've known the league, and we've followed the league, and we've got buddies that are wearing NFL jerseys, which you shouldn't do over the age of 30, blah, blah, blah. But you can say what you want. When the Cowboys and the Giants play in September, October, or November, yes, there's a playoff and all, but that still means a lot.
It sure does.
Right?
Sure it
and
does.
When New England and Miami or Buffalo and Miami play this Thursday, they may meet in the playoffs, but it still means where I'm going is Texas is going to play Georgia and Alabama, and Alabama's going to play Georgia, and Georgia's going to play, and we're about to start running into those big on bigs coming up.
And Georgia's going to Ole Miss to play.
Yes.
Now, a point you made that really needs to be repeated, and people aren't going to get this until about November, is you can lose now 2 games. And if you're in the Big Ten or the SEC, you can frankly lose 3 probably if you've got a really tough schedule and still get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So what that means is it's not the end of the world when you lose to your rival or you lose a big game.
I've said that the college fans got to change. Yes, there have been rematches in season in college football in a bowl game. I get it. That's happened. Or in the championship game of the conference. But it's been rare in college football. So the college fan, when my team beats your team October 21st, I got you. You suck. You're me. You got to wear my jersey, blah, 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 blah. Well, you may want to temper that.
You sure might.
You might want to
play
temper that. You may play again or twice.
That's right.
You may play again in your championship game of conference,
right,
and or in the playoffs. So you got to temper that a little bit.
You do,
right? Because
that may be Alabama, Georgia.
Alabama,
Georgia.
Georgia.
May play 3 times.
You talk trash when they meet the regular season, and you may get it shoved down your throat when they beat you to send you home.
Oh yeah, well,
right.
And I'll tell you one thing that, and this is coming to fruition soon. Is if you're a coach, you got to play a lot of players, because if you're a playoff team, and I've already seen this. After John Emery got hurt at LSU, well, they moved one of their safeties to the running back room.
How about that?
And you're going to see things like that.
And I can see this. I'll never act like you, our show is an NFL show, but we follow the league. I mean, we're not deep and going to write stories and articles and host shows, but you can already see the NFL, and we know their standard 53-man roster, 45 on game day, and there's something they do with a third quarterback, but they play with a minimal roster because they're paying them.
Yeah,
and the NFL has tried to figure out what's the least amount of paid athletes we have, right, on labor. Exactly. It's a labor situation.
Yes.
Well, you can see it now. The NFL's about to go to an 18-game schedule.
Yep.
Right? They're at 17 now. They were just at the 16. they're about to go to an 8-team. I mean, I could have had a page long of injuries to talk with Dr. Bates about a moment ago.
Sure.
The NFL is going to have to expand their practice squad or their day roster.
No doubt.
It's a numbers game.
It is.
It's a numbers game. These guys are dropping like flies.
Right.
And 53-45 was great when they were playing 16. We're about to play 18.
Yeah,
right.
They really are.
They're going to have to change.
Oh, yeah, which means you've got to play more players and get them some experience.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about it. All right, Brent, we've got a is it Friday? We've got a ranked versus ranked matchup. I think we've got Kansas State.
Yeah, we do.
And Arizona State on Friday.
Yes.
Right. And then
and the other ranked is Boston College in Missouri.
That game intrigues me.
It
may intrigue me so much that I don't want to use it as one of our picks.
Right. Yeah, really.
That was impressive what Boston College did.
Yeah. And to your point.
And he inherited that roster.
He did, yeah. Arizona, Kansas State's Friday night.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's the one I was talking about. Arizona, Kansas State, a couple of ranked teams. That'll just about do it. We are winding down. Fun show as they all are on a Wednesday from Twin Peaks. Tomorrow we're down in Neptune Beach. Come by, say hi. We will also be drawing for 2 tickets, absolutely free. You do nothing. No, you just get lucky and get drawn for Florida, Texas A&M. We're giving away 2 tickets to every single home game. We'll be proud to give them out tomorrow. I know last week's winner, Josh, had a big time in Gainesville. So we'll do that tomorrow. That'll wrap it up for Brent Beaird, of course, Patrick Young, and Dr. Bates. I'm Terry Norvelle. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.